Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Jordan Harvey, and today I'm going to be talking about YA romance tropes that I love, because who doesn't love love? Me sometimes, but that's for another video. I lost the light. Before I begin today though, I just wanted to say that I created an Instagram account for kind of a book blog, and I'll be talking about books and doing reviews, doing behind the scenes, and I'm going to have a bunch of really cute kind of like outfit of the days and that kind of thing, so be sure to check that out if that sounds like something that you'd be interested in. Today we're going to be talking about tropes that I love, which is kind of different because usually I'm hating on things, but we're going to be talking about romance tropes that I love, and I'm going to have kind of 5 main tropes and then a couple honorable mentions. So to kick it off, for trope number 1, I absolutely love the couples that originally hate each other and then grow to love each other over the course of the book. I find these romantic relationships to be the ones that I root for the most because there's so much tension if it's done well, and usually I find that I really connect with that kind of romance and I really root for it to happen. I also find the longer they draw it out and the more excruciating it is, the more I want it to happen and the more excited I get when it does happen. So this is definitely one of my favorite tropes, and I kind of look out for it whenever I'm reading. Trope number 2 that I look out for is the opposites attract trope. I really love when two characters fit together and really complete each other because they're very different in a lot of ways. I love characters that bring out the best in each other, and I find that that's usually the case when they're very different from each other. That's why I really like the kind of opposites attract thing, and it doesn't always work, but I find that when it does work, it works really well because the characters just kind of fit together perfectly and really elevate each other and complete each other almost. So if it's done well, opposites attract can be one of my favorite tropes. Trope number 3, and I can't think of the right word for this. It's kind of like serendipity, but the opposite, where the world seems to conspire against the two characters and they keep like just missing each other. And I find that this works really well in stories where they already have a romantic relationship established, or at least have some sort of romantic tension going on, and then they're separated and there's a bunch of near misses where they almost run into each other again, and they, you know, the tension just rises until you like almost want to barf because you just want the two characters to like meet each other again and run into each other and then love each other. And I find that there's a lot of examples that I really love, but then there's also a lot of examples of this trope that I don't love so much. So this is another one where it has to be done well or it kind of doesn't work at all. And I know that this trope is going to be a little bit more controversial because there's some people that really hate that. But for me, I really love this trope because this is the one thing that makes my stomach like go into knots, because I want them to run into each other and get together. A really great example of this technique is in the movie Your Name, and if you have not seen this movie, go see it. It is so good. It is one of the best movies that I've seen in a long time. And I love anime, but this just elevates it to like a Miyazaki level, even though his style is very different from Miyazaki. But I'm going off on a tangent. That doesn't matter. Just go see Your Name, and also, you know, appreciate this trope for what it can be. Trope number 4 is the epic fight and then the epic makeup. I personally love when, you know, the climax hits in the romantic relationship and the characters, they like fight, they get real, and then, you know, they get hurt, but then they make up. I hate when, you know, they do this and it, you know, they're assholes. But I do like it when it reveals a lot of truths about character. It maybe makes the character realize something in themselves that they didn't already know, and maybe something that they don't like, and that's why they get super defensive and mad, and then, you know, they make up and you just want it to happen so much more because, you know, they've been through things, so it's not like just the honeymoon phase, which is, you know, most of the book I find is the honeymoon phase, and then, you know, they fight and it gets really real, and that's what shows like a true relationship and, you know, how it can actually work, because in real life, let's be real, it's not all smooth sailing. So when they actually fight and then make up, that's when the relationship becomes like real to me. Now, a couple quick honorable mentions before I get to my last one. I really love the kind of secret places trope where the characters kind of have a place that is exclusive just to them, or a place that has a deeper meaning to them that they can go and meet up in. You find this in like endless books. I find most books that have a romance kind of have a secret place in them, but I like it a lot. I like the secret place, and I like when the author kind of really establishes it and makes it symbolic, or at least makes it, you know, important to the story or to the characters. And I find that, yeah, I really love that. I really love secret places. Maybe that's just because one day I want a secret place with a guy where we can go and meet and, you know, it'll be super romantic and sweet and nice. Too many tangents. I'm sorry, too many tangents. Another thing that I love in romance, and this is usually for these side characters, the kind of supporting cast, is when they get together and they're just like super supportive and in love with each other, and they're just super great to each other. Because I find the main characters, I don't usually want that to happen. I want epic fights, I want tension and drama. But I find that when the side characters are just kind of like lovely and supportive of one another, I'm like, yes, relationships can be wonderful. And I find as far as side characters go, that's usually my favorite kind of romance, is when, you know, they're just really loving of one another and great to one another. And so that brings us to trope number 5, my final trope of the day, and that is the romantic tragedy. I love getting my heart ripped out and then shredded and then like eaten by wild bears and then like destroyed. I love that. Am I okay? I actually find the romances that I enjoy the most usually end in either death or permanent separation. I think these are the romances that are most memorable and most emotional, and I am such a fan of unhappy endings when it comes to romances because, well, I like sadness. I don't know why I love books like that so much, but I really do. Like, I feel like romantic comedies don't even hold a candle to romantic tragedies because, let's be real, crying about a sad book where one of the characters in the romantic relationship dies is such a good emotional release. It's like, you can't compare it when you know that, you know, they're never coming back. It's over. It's over forever and it'll never be good again. It kills you. I think the most important thing though in a romance is that the characters change because of it. Whether it ends happily or it ends poorly, the characters have to grow and change because of their relationship together. That is the #1 most important thing in a romance. So as long as it has that, I can't be too mad at it, but if it has some of these other tropes, I'm dead. Alright guys, that is all I have for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, click that subscribe button. Next week, I'm going to be posting the top tropes that I hate in YA romance, so be sure to stay tuned for that. Thanks again, and I will see you next time.